Thanks everybody for joining us today. My name is Emily Kaiser and I'm the communications manager here at the Washtenaw County Road Commission. And I'll be the meeting host today along with a few of our project managers who I will introduce. But today we are going to be talking about the resurfacing projects planned for Moon Road and Platt Road down in York Township. So we are very excited to talk about these projects today. We've got a little bit of housekeeping that I'll go over, and then I will turn it over to our project manager who is going to be talking about these projects themselves. And then once we get through that, then we will open it up to Q&A, and I'll provide some instructions as to how to do that in our virtual setup here today. So today, first I'll introduce our speakers. We've got Mike Birnbeck. He is the project manager for this project, and his contact information is here. You do not have to furiously write it down, though. We will provide it a couple times in the presentation. So Mike will be talking today about the projects. We also have Jim Harmon. He is our director of operations, and so he is going to help oversee these projects as well. And then we have Aaron Burkholt, who is our senior project manager for design and construction here to join us as well. So Mike will be your best contact in the day-to-day of the projects, but we are the team effort to get these projects out the door. So the meeting audio and video is being recorded and will be posted to the project webpage on our website, which I will show you a little bit later in the presentation how to get to that in the next day or two. After the presentation, you'll be asked to virtually raise your hand during the Q&A part of this meeting. I'll provide instruction at that time on how to do that in this virtual form, and you can make comment whether you're joining us from your computer, the Zoom app, or your touch tone phone. The chat feature for this meeting is turned on. So if you have a question during the presentation, feel free to ask it in chat, and then we'll address it during the Q&A part of the meeting. You can find the chat window at the bottom of your screen. All right, with that, I will turn it over to Mike to talk about these projects.
Good morning. We are doing Moon Road and Platt Road this year with in the process we're using is we're crushing up the existing asphalt, using that as our new base. So we're recycling in place. And then we're adding new asphalt surface on both roads to improve. As you know, they're both in need of this work. The detour route we have for Moon Road is using Willis over to Platt down to Stony Creek over to Saline Milan, and then back up to Moon Road for those that do not live within the confines of the Moon Road project. For people that are through traffic users right now, that's your route to get around. It makes the road safe for those of us working out there, as well as residents that need to be there as well. So we got the next one too, or all right. So we're our plan right now is on Moon Road, we're going to be out in the next couple of weeks doing some tree trimming, and there'll be a daily road closure possibly. It's all a matter of timing based on our weather. Otherwise, we are going to make a hard closure on April 7th, in which time we will be working on any tree work we have left. Tree work being canopy. We clean up the canopy, the limbs and such hanging over the road. We need to open that up for trucks to travel through safely. Hey Mike,
before we get into all the details, you want to talk just about the boundaries of both the projects, and then we can get into the details?
Okay, yeah, you want to go to the next slide?
Sure, yep. So Moon Road, we're going to be resurfacing from Saline Milan to Willis, right?
Yes.
Okay, and then we all know that it's in bad shape, so this is what it looks like. And then Platt Road, we're going to be working from Willow Road down to the city of Milan limits, correct?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, I got ahead of myself.
That's all right. And we also know that Platt has been in rough shape and needing this improvement for a long time, so we're excited to be able to do it. So here's the details. You're getting into the weeds.
Yes. So the tree canopy trimming is overhanging limbs. We need to get those back up to a vertical elevation that allows our trucks to travel or buses to travel safely through. It all opens up the roadway to the sun, so that we can have the help of the sun to dry out the pavement after it rains or snows. We will be replacing a couple crossroad culverts along the way, working on drainage improvements of the road surface, as well as some areas of ditching. We're then going to move into the Monday, April 18th. We will be starting our pulverization of the existing road surface. And that's going to be a 3 to 5 day process with grading shortly behind it, creating a new road base. And then shortly towards the end of that week or the following week, we will start paving. And we hope to be done by the end of the week of April 25th. So, and we'd be back open to traffic.
All weather pending, of course, right?
Yes, all this is all depending on what Mother Nature gives us. A little bit of rain while we're pulverizing and shaping is not a bad thing. It actually helps us, but yeah, otherwise we're if it's all sunshine, we should be meeting our goal of the April 25th. So,
Okay.
and then Moon Road
or Platt Road.
We will be closing that also the week of April 18th, but that work that'll be for our road commission crews to do drainage improvements, and that includes there's 3 culverts at the Willow Road intersection that need to be replaced. Those will be replaced. We'll be doing the drainage improvements as for getting the water off the surface of the road, as well as those areas along the way that need the ditch cleaned out a little bit to help the water to move towards its departure of the area. Then on the week of the 12th, we're going to be bringing in the pulverizer again and starting to recycle that surface. We will be paving the week of the 16th, and hopefully by the end of that week, we'll have it open to traffic. So we're on both jobs, we're looking to, be 4 to 5 week jobs for us to get our work done and be out of there. Residents on both roads that their driveways are on that road, or have like Moon Road has a number of side streets that are dead ends. You're considered local traffic. So you'll be given a free access to your road. We may need to ask you for a couple minutes here or there as we get our operations going, but that's basically how we operate with these jobs. As you can see, this is an example of, I believe it was 8 Mile Road that we did 2 years ago. Similar road conditions. You'll see that the existing is on the right side. And after the pulverizer does his job, it's what you see on the left. And then further up, you'll see where we started to grade and compact. So it's just a matter of just getting equipment out of the way to help people facilitate to get through. The buses will get through, the garbage trucks will get through, police and fire and ambulance. They're all priorities for us. So we watch out for those. And we've already talked to the bus company, and obviously the message goes out to the 911 program as well. So then when we get done with our grading and get our grades, the aggregate slope so it's off the road, the paving crew comes in, and this is a 2-lift project, and it will probably take us 4 days to do this. And the driveways, you will have access, but we will also be matching your driveways to make them so that you can get it, access to the road. some of the aggregate driveways, the gravel driveways, they will be addressed when we put shoulders on. But we will address all the driveways to make them so you're free to get onto the road.
Hey, Mike, can you talk a little bit about how the weather would impact this part of it? I know you mentioned it earlier, but if we get downpours like we did yesterday after we pulverized, we might not be able to pave for a few days, right? Or just, can you talk a little bit about that?
The thing with this operation of pulverize, recycling the existing material, we need to have some moisture in the ground. You'll see it. If we don't get rain, we will be bringing tankers of water in. That helps rejuvenate the asphalt and helps make a better solid base for us to work on. But once we have it pretty much at the point that you see here, that big downpours probably won't hurt us. The downpours will stop the job only because it's not good for all of us working, as well as it can make it a little soupy for the crews to put material down. Light sprinkles may not bother us, but we have to watch the weather because it is springtime. So, but we should, if it gets to this point, a heavy rain should not hurt us at all.
I feel like if we talk about the rain in April, maybe it won't happen as long as we talk about it. So,
yes.
All right. Thank you, Mike. All right.
It's on Platt Road at Willow. We have this picture here because our traffic and safety department, along with Detroit Edison, are working together to put a blinker light similar to what you see here. Platt and Willow is a four-way intersection. We will have, Willow is stop signs, and we have the blinking red light, and that'll be the same thing that we have down. That'll be a new component to the intersection by June, from what our understanding with the schedule is. And if all goes well, this is Getty's Road last year. This is the first job we did out of the chute, and that's with the new canopy opened up. This road really did have heavy forestry work to be done. But the residents that we heard from during and after have been very pleased with the results. So we've got a nice track record going, and we have no reason to not continue that. Funding for Moon Road. Moon Road, we have gone into partnership with the township to make this work happen. And actually we're able to get the complete road. Otherwise, if we had limited funds, if one of us was only doing it, we might only be able to do like a mile at a time. But between the two organizations, we've been able to put the money together to get it all done at one time. So we're fortunate for that as well. And then Platt Road is being funded through the countywide roads and non-motorized millage. That was on the 2020 ballot. We had 6 years prior to that. Now this is the next 4 years. This is our second year in the millage program. And with this, we've been able to do a lot of good things throughout the county. So this is the next step. So, yep, approximate 4 weeks for each one. Moon Road may be a little more, only because of the length, but we've done pretty good in getting out, having everything done with the weather on our side between 4 and 4.5 weeks. So it's been a good program.
Mike, that's going to start. You had said earlier, we had a couple people join since then, but we're planning to have Moon Road start in early April.
April 7th closure on Moon, and April 18th closure on Platt Road.
All right.
Yes.
We're
And
expecting about a 5-week closure on Platt, right?
Yeah, we'll go with that. That way, if I'm done early, people like me more. The detour route for Moon Road. The project is from Saline Mylan up to Willis. So we're going to be utilizing Willis Road over to easterly to Platt Road, then south on Platt to Stony Creek, and then west on Stony Creek to back to Saline Mylan Road, and then back up to the Moon Road intersection. So that's the detour for traffic that doesn't have any are not residents or businesses on that within Moon Road. And then Platt Road, we're utilizing Moorville Road going to Saline Mylan up to Stony Creek, and Stony Creek up to Platt Road again. And that's the end of that detour route. The red designates the length of the project there from the city limits, which is just north of the intersection of Main Street, to Willow Road. And we're going to be working in the Willow Road intersection only because we have to restore the pipe crossings, but we will get, if you need to go across Willow Road, we'll get you across. Not a problem.
I think this slide, Mike, we wanted to just remind people that road closures, if they do not live within that area, that these signs do apply to them. And so we really ask, we've seen, and I know Mike and Aaron and Jim could all speak to this, we've seen some really unsafe driver behavior out there where people are trying to get around barricades or think that they can get through and cause damage to equipment, damage to the road itself, but also can injure our employees that are out there or injure themselves. And so we really ask for everybody's cooperation. Nobody likes a road closure, we get that, but those signs do apply to you. If you live within the specific boundaries, we will get you to your home, but we just ask for everybody's help in complying with these closures as we're trying to get this work done as quickly and as safely as possible. Anything else you want to add on that, Mike?
No, appreciate helping that with us.
So we also have a lot of work going on this year. It's another busy construction season. So this slide really just talks about the different projects that we have coming up in the York Township area. And in a minute, I'll show you where you can find out this information on our website. But you can see we've got Moon and Platt listed on here, but those will hopefully get done early in the season is the plan. And then we also have some chip seal work going on around this area. Chip seal, I believe, Jim, is going to start in early May, but not necessarily in York Township, just our entire chip seal season. So there's going to be road work in the area. We just ask that people kind of keep an eye open for crews out working, but Moon and Platt will go first and early in the construction season. I'll hand it back to you, Mike.
Yep. We work with the mail people, your deliverer. So we'll work with them. We'll talk to them while we're out doing our work. It's a little less congested, but we will talk with them and assure their safe passage. The same with trash. If you have lawn service, we'll get those through, and the school buses will get through the project as well. No matter what we're doing, the school buses for sure we try to get them moving because they're on a tight schedule to get the kids, especially in the morning, because kids don't want to go to school, but we don't want to be the people that don't get them to school. So, but we will get them through, not a problem.
And Mike, are we planning with the culverts or anything, are we planning to disturb much grass in people's yards? Because that's part of the restoration process too, if we do disturb it, right?
Yes, we will. Anything that we disturb, we'll take care. We'll get it restored as well.
So this is my cue to do a little different screen share here. So give me 1 second. I'll go over this and then I can show you where you can find this information on the website. But we do have an opportunity for you to subscribe to see project updates on our website. And again, I'll show you that in just a second. And then here we've got Mike's contact information. If you have questions throughout the project, you can reach out to Mike and we'll have his contact information on the website as well. So let me get myself situated here and I'll show you the website. So if you go, our website is wcroads.org. This is our homepage here. And a shameless plug, we've got a lot of great information on our website, a lot of information about how you could support a road service request, how you could apply for a job with us, apply for a permit. But what I'm going to show you today is our current projects. So if you go up here under roadwork and construction, or if you scroll down and you can see our roadwork updates here, you're going to go to this current projects map. And then on this current projects map, it'll show you all the major projects that we have planned this year. And as I mentioned, we have a big construction season ahead of us. And so you can, on any of these blue segments on the website, you can click and you can go to a project page about it. So I'll show you the Moon Road one. You go to more info. And this has a lot of the information that Mike just went over. We'll also post the slides and a recording from today's meeting under this helpful links here. But it talks about the boundaries. It talks about, we'll update this as we get closer to the actual start date when that we plan to implement the closure. We've got information about today's meeting. Again, we've got Mike's contact information here. And you can also, on this page, you can subscribe to receive project updates. So we will do periodic email updates to anybody who's subscribed to receive them, giving them progress updates on the project itself. So you could get notified that the road closure is starting, and then progress updates as we go throughout the project. And you can subscribe to receive updates for either Moon Road or Platt Road or both, depending on what your interest is. You can also subscribe to receive updates on York Township road work in general or other township specific road work. There's a lot of different things that you can subscribe to receive updates on. We do a weekly road work schedule. All of that is right here on our website. And so you can subscribe to receive that here on wcroads.org. Let me get back to the slides here. Okay, before we go into our Q&A part, Jim or Aaron, is there anything else you guys want to add before we go to the question and answers part?
Nothing at this time, Emily, but very much looking forward to any questions that the participants have.
Great, thanks. Aaron, anything?
Sure, and I'll mention, and Mike brought it up, that we've been working together here at the Road Commission to try to accomplish various types of or parts of the work to improve these road segments. And in particular on Platt Road at the Willow intersection, we've been working to replace the culverts that are there. It's always a good idea before we perform a road improvement to take a look at the crossroad culverts to see what condition those might be in. And as part of that, the engineering department and operations department here at the Road Commission have been working together, and we intend to replace 3 of the culverts at that Platt and Willow intersection. So we'll be replacing the culvert that goes under the west leg of the intersection, the east leg of the intersection, and the south leg of the intersection. And the culvert that passes under the south leg of the intersection actually conveys a county drain. That's called the McIntyre Drain. So it crosses under Platt Road, flowing from west to east towards the railroad tracks. And it's a fairly sizable culvert. We did obtain a permit from the Water Resources Commission to replace that culvert. We've been coordinating with Detroit Edison. There is a pole at the corner there. So again, we're looking forward to performing that improvement. There is also an existing culvert under the north leg of the intersection. That culvert currently doesn't appear to be functioning, and we've found no purpose for that culvert. So the intention is, as part of our road improvement, we're going to be removing that culvert that's under the north leg of the intersection, because again, we don't see a purpose for it to be there. It may have been a remnant from the past when there was a drainage course that went under that north leg. But again, the culvert is not functioning at this point. So Mike also mentioned working with our traffic and safety staff. We're going to be coordinating with Detroit Edison to install a new pole in the northwest corner of the intersection, and then using the existing pole in the southeast corner of the intersection and putting up that new flashing beacon, commonly known as a blinker signal. And Mike mentioned that we'll have a new blinker signal installed. That likely would occur after the road project is completed, and that the installation of that blinker signal can be accomplished under traffic. So again, that shouldn't have a significant impact on motorists. And as we see the schedule right now, that that blinker installation would occur after the roadway improvements.
Thanks, Aaron. All right, so we can get into the Q&A. Mike, any last words before we get to Q&A?
At this time, thank you.
Okay. So I'll just give some brief instructions as to how to do this, and then if you've got questions, we will start to field them. So if you're viewing the meeting on your computer, you want to first make sure to click join audio, which it looks like everybody has. And then you can raise your hand by clicking the participants or the reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then the raise hand button at the bottom right of your screen. If you dialed into the meeting from your touch-tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9 now. As the meeting host, I'll unmute participants with raised hands one at a time. I will announce your username or the last 4 digits of your phone number when it's your turn to speak. We're happy to answer as many questions as possible, but please be respectful of each other's time. If your question is answered before you're called on, you can lower your hand by clicking the lower hand button or by dialing *9 again. So let's see, we did have a question come in through chat, and Jessica is asking if the detour will be posted somewhere. And the short answer is yes. We've got it posted onto those project pages that we had shared, that I showed you a few minutes ago how to get to on our website. There's a link, I'll share it one more time in the chat, to how to get to that current projects map that I shared. We will also include links to the detours when we send out our road advisories ahead of the actual closure. So there will be, the detour map will be posted in a lot of places, and then as we get closer to the closure, Mike, they'll actually post the detour signs out in the real world too, right?
Yes, yes.
So it'll be well signed. We've got another question here in chat, and this is from Scott, and his question is, what are the daily start and finishing work hours? Will work be done on the weekends?
For the most part, the crews start at 7 a.m. and we usually work until 6 or so. Township 7 o'clock is the latest, and that happens very rarely. And yes, we do work. We can work 6 days a week. We tend not to work on Sundays. It takes a lot of effort for us to work on a Sunday, just for helping residents not see our lovely faces every day. So.
And Mike, even if we aren't working out there, if it's a Sunday, for example, the road closure
Road
will
is
still
still
be
closed.
in place, right?
Yes. Yep.
So the road closure will still be in place, and road closures are there to protect our staff working, but also to protect drivers, because it means the road is not ready for full traffic yet, since it's under construction. Okay, so we did have another question in chat, or a couple questions in chat, but we do have a raised hand. So let's go there first. Let's see, Richard, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Okay, yes, I just had can you hear me okay?
We can,
Yes.
Go ahead with your question.
Okay. Yeah, just had a quick question regarding mailboxes. Will any mailboxes have to be relocated further away from the road? And if so, whose responsibility is that?
We do not anticipate that to be a problem. If it does rise, we will make sure it gets taken care of as part of the project.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Richard, for your question. Let's see, we had a couple questions come in through chat, Mike. This came from John, and his question is there any culvert work being done on Moon Road? Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yes, we have 2 crossroad culverts right now. One is just south of Jewel Road. And the other one is north up, excuse me, I believe it's between Jewel and Judd. We have another crossroad culvert there to be taken care of. And that all happens during the time when our WCRC crews are on site. So those are the two structures I know about.
Mike, Emily, I'll also add, we've been reviewing the Craig Drain Crossing, which is located on Moon, just north of Saline Milan Road. And we'll be taking a much closer look at that as part of the project. We have provisions to replace that crossing if necessary, and our staff have been in communication with the Water Resource Commissioner's Office, who has jurisdiction over the Craig Drain, to assist us in identifying what we need to replace it with if we ultimately conclude that that's required. So we do have provisions for that if it's determined to be necessary.
Great. Okay, thanks, Jim.
Yep.
I don't want to go through my instructions one more time about how to virtually raise your hand, and then we do have a few more questions coming in through chat too. If you're joining us from your computer, you want to first make sure to click join audio, which again, it looks like most people have. You can then raise your hand by clicking the participants or the reactions button at the bottom of your screen. And then you should see the raise hand button as one of those reactions that you can click on. If you dialed into the meeting from your touch tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. Okay, so this question comes from Rod in chat, and he says, I live on Jewel Road at the corner of Moon and Jewel. Will the paving extend onto the dirt roads a specific number of feet?
Yes, the aggregate roads or the dirt roads, we do address them and create a new 100-foot long approach to the new pavement. Yes.
So on Jewel, it'll be about 100 feet from the intersection, Mike?
Yes.
Okay, great. We do have two raised hands, so we'll start with, let's see, TWSISZ. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Yes, thank you. I live right at that area too, and that was my neighbor's question just before me. I also have a culvert crossing my road, so that's going to cut off the whole road. Is that correct? Hello?
Not on Jewel Road. We're not.
No, on Moon. I live on Moon.
Moon. Yep, on Moon we will. Well, it'll be during while we're replacing it. We generally do those in half widths. So,
okay.
Yes.
Yes, because that's right on my property line. Another question is the current grading of the road does not allow the water to go into my culverts. It comes down my driveway. And basically when I purchased this house 11 years ago, there was a brand new driveway installed. And now it is sinking and basically coming apart because all the water, like I said, it floods down my driveway, not into the culverts and then onto my property. And I've tried to, build like a little blacktop berm to stop it and push it into the culverts, but it just gets worn out. And all the patching that is put in front of my house is in my driveway from the water coming down my driveway. It's a total mess. So will that be regraded to not come down my driveway?
I would ask if you would mind dropping me a note through my email or give me a call so we can arrange a meeting and I'll come out and talk to you about your specific situation. If you would do that for me, I'd appreciate it.
Yes, is this what's being shown right now? Is this you?
Yes,
Mike?
it is. Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yep.
I'm going to take a screenshot. 1 second, please.
Yep, and that's also available on the project page on the website too. Okay, thank you for your question there. All right, so we've got another question in chat. We'll go to that and then we'll bounce back and forth. This comes from Mia and it says, what is the long-term life expectancy of this work?
Well, when we do this, we figure that we've got at least a 12 to 15 year life expansion, but expectancy, but we also have been we're really working hard to work into our general maintenance, the application of chip sealing, which helps it's like chip sealing is, I talk about like suntan lotion for humans on your, when you walk out, you push suntan lotion. That's what chip sealing does. It protects the asphalt surface from the environment. And by doing that on a routine basis, which is between 4 to 7 years, we're expecting life expectancy to be greater than that 12 to 15. So
everyone should be prepared to see a chip seal on these sections of roads, hopefully in the next couple of years, right? Right, Jim? Right, Mike? Okay, all right, cool. So we have a couple of raised hands. So this is phone number ending in 2073. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Hello, my question is, can you be specific on where the second culvert is on Moon Road? You mentioned, I think you said north of Jewel. Can you narrow that down for me?
Adam, can you help? Because I'm not quite sure where that one is, because part of the team effort in this is we work with the district foreman and his crews, and I'm not specifically aware of where that culvert crossing is. I just know that the general area.
I'm located on Moon, and we believe it's probably by our house. So my husband could email you if he had questions.
That is correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I can, like the previous person, email me. We can set up a time to meet on, site specific. Not a problem.
Yeah,
Okay,
if you could,
Thank
you could
Yep,
email
go
Mike.
ahead.
Yeah, if you could email Mike your information and your address, and then I can get an exact footage from the foreman. We'll measure it out in the field for you. I don't have that right in front of me, but we will get that information to you.
Thank you, Adam. And Adam is one of our
Welcome.
superintendents here. So thank you, Adam, for your
Yes.
cameo here.
Morning or afternoon at this point.
All right. So then we've got a question in chat, and this comes from Paul. And Paul's question is, will there be a bicycle lane on Moon Road?
No, we will not. We will have, the painting of lines is 11 feet, but that gives us about a two foot unpaved spot. We do not have room to create a full bike lane. So we don't, the pavement's out there, but we do not state that it's a bike path.
So there'll be a wider paved shoulder
We got
than
a
there is
wider
now,
paved
Mike.
shoulder. Yes,
Right. But to do a bike path is really a road widening project, and that's outside the scope of this, right?
that is correct.
Okay. All right. So we've got a raised hand. This is Jim. Jim, you should be able to unmute yourself. Go ahead, Jim. We should be able to hear you. If you're talking, we cannot hear you. All right, Jim, I'm going to mute you. And then if you get your audio figured out, I will lower your hand and raise your hand again, and we will try it again. This is Theodore. Theodore, you should be able to unmute yourself.
I'm here.
Hello, go ahead.
Afternoon.
Hello. I have I have 3 questions. I live at 9363 Moon Road. I'm south of Willis. And when they were doing the road construction on Ann Arbor Saline Road, those big trucks hauling the dual gravel trucks and the concrete trucks and everything else driving down the road, it was like a 2.0 earthquake in my house, shaking and all that. And I was wondering if they're going to try to do something to deepen the road, make it thicker, because that traffic was unbelievable. And even though we have signs up on the road that say no trucks down this road, that seems to be ignored. My other question is the drainage ditch in front of my house. I don't know exactly what happened, but I can't even see the pipes anymore. In November, I cleaned everything out like I normally do. And everybody south of me is getting water in their yard and blocked up. I went out there with a pickaxe. I can't even find the pipe. I don't know where it is, but I know that culvert is getting, or that drainage ditch is getting filled in, and I got pieces of asphalt and stuff in there and dirt. And I used to have just grass. So I didn't know if they were going to, I called the commission in early March, I believe, when it first started flooding south of me, to say, hey, there's nothing coming through. And I don't burn leaves. I don't put anything in there. I try to keep it as clear as possible. And I told the person that I talked to on the phone that it was plugged up, and I haven't heard nothing else. I didn't know if that was going to be part of this or what. And
so if you, that is the purpose of our closing the road early for our crews to work on drainage situations. So if you wouldn't mind dropping me an email with your address, and we will and a contact information that we will follow up with you on your specific situation. That goes for anybody that's listening. We take those things very seriously. And secondly, for your question about the depth, the elevation of the road will be about 3 inches to 4 inches higher than it is today. Only because you have to realize we're grinding up what's there. So that's going to be there. And then we're adding material on top. The new surfaces will be added on top of that. We'll be putting new slope in there so that the water gets off, but we are not reconstructing. And so the situations with the trucks, it may help you a little bit, but I'm not, and there's no guarantee of that, because we're not doing brand new, a brand new full road bed. So.
Well, and I imagine it'll help at least with the noise, Mike, because the road will be a lot smoother and we're not driving over.
Noise will be different, but yes.
Okay. Okay, so we've got a question in chat, and this is Michelle, and this is just to confirm. So Moon Road closure is going to start on April 7th, weather permitting, right, Mike?
Correct.
Okay, and then the paving road work part is going to start on the 18th, but the closure itself, it's not lane closures for any of the work Mike had talked about, the prep work. It's a full closure starting on the April 7th.
That is correct.
Okay. So Michelle, that is a little bit different than what you had said in your message. So the full road closure goes into effect early April, hopefully April 7th, if Mother Nature cooperates. Okay, so we've got a question from Frank. Frank, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Thank you. Just 2 quick questions. Are you starting on the north side of Moon for this project, meaning Willis going south, or are you going to work from south going up?
I do not know that at this time. That's usually a function of the contractor themselves. But so I don't know which way. I do know in my thoughts, we're going to be paving from the north to the south, but the initial project of pulverization and grading, I'm not sure which way we're going to start.
Okay. And then the second one is just do you pave all in the same week, or will you pave it as it becomes available? Specific to Moon Road is my question. That
once we start paving, we're there.
Okay.
And part of the beauty of starting early, the asphalt plants don't start producing till the 18th of April. So there's that very little work happening right now. So once the paving crew comes to see us, they're with us. They're generally not pulled away from us.
Okay. Thank you for doing this. This has been very, very informative. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Not a problem.
Thanks, Frank. Yeah, the early bird gets the worm, right, Mike?
Yes, that's it.
That's our hope. All right, so this question comes from chat. This comes from Mary, and she asked, will there be large truck restrictions once Moon Road is completed?
Jim, you wanna
Yeah, I'll
expand?
field that. This section of Moon is presently trucks are restricted under township ordinance. So that would be a topic of conversation to have with your township officials.
Okay, all right, Jim, we're gonna try this again. Not you, Jim, not Jim Harmon, but Jim from the audience. Jim, you should be able to unmute yourself now. Jim, if you're talking, we still cannot hear you.
Microphone's off.
Let's try one more time. Jim, you should be able to unmute yourself. Yep.
Still
if you
can't
wanna-
hear Jim. If
Yeah.
Jim would like to put something in chat or
Yeah, I was just gonna
contact
say
Mike
that.
directly, we'd be happy to talk to him.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry, Jim. All right. We do have another raised hand. Oh, this is Theodore. I think Theodore had a third question, but we didn't quite get to
Oh,
it.
I'm sorry.
No, that's all right. That was my fault. Go ahead, Theodore. You should be able to unmute yourself.
Okay, thank
Go ahead.
you. My third question, my third question is regarding work that's been ongoing for me now since I think September. We put in a brand new, I had to put in a brand new septic system, and they're still not completely finished. The weather kind of caught up with them and we didn't get to finish it. He's scheduled to come in during the spring. I'm not sure the date. I can also, push it back a little bit. I just wanted to, if they can't come, if they have to come, is it possible for them to get through? Or should I just try my best to keep them out until the road's, until the
Right.
road's fixed?
Well, we're expecting to be the road being completed by the 25th, the week of the 25th. So if you can put off till that point, and really, sometimes it's difficult to get into your yards because it's still moist from any rains that you do get. It's still wet. So it may be advantageous for them not to come at all. But, once again, you have my contact information. We certainly can talk about what we're doing and where we're at the time they need to come.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Theodore. All right. We do have a couple more questions in chat. So the next question in chat, let me get to it here. So Leanne asked, what is the current age of the pavement on Platt Road, the part that we're going to be working on? Does anybody know the current age of that? When the last we resurfaced that section?
It's been quite a while. Been quite a while.
I think what she was getting at, it's been way longer than that 12 to 15 years that you were talking about, right, Mike?
Yes.
Okay. Yep. So it is well past its useful life. All right. So we've got another question in chat. This comes from Colleen. So just kind of confirming those closures. So Platt Road, we're planning to start April 18th. That is with a big asterisk. It is hard to give exact dates even a couple weeks out. So, but we are planning to start that mid-April. And then we've got that prep work, but it's still a closure. And then the pulverizing paving will take place the next week. Right, Mike?
That is correct.
Okay. And it's my 5th construction season and it always rains in April. So big asterisks in all of and we won't even tell Mike how many construction seasons he's been through, but it always rains in April. So all these dates are with a big asterisk, but it'll go early in the season. So we're very excited about that. Okay, this question comes from Colleen in chat. So she lives right off of Platt just before Willow. And she's wondering what kind of delay as far as traffic delay. She takes her daughter to school and then has to pick her up and do all of that. How much extra time do you think she should build into her trips, Mike?
I would say 5 minutes or so. Because once we see that you're coming through, you know, it takes a couple minutes to readjust equipment. But, you know, I would say 5 to 10 probably at the most.
And if she sees the big paver truck, like in the background of your picture, if she sees the big paver coming, there's sometimes a little bit longer delay, right? Because we can't have them drive right on the fresh asphalt.
Yeah, but we'll have people around work helping you navigate those situations.
Awesome. Okay, this is from Jim. So Jim asked us our question in chat. And he says he has one of the oldest houses on Moon he's got mature trees by the road. Who does the tree trimming and how high up from the road does it need to be? He's worried about the aggressiveness of the process.
Well, it'll be our crews, and they've been doing a real nice job of cutting the canopy. Canopy, we try to go between 25 and 30 feet for open up, because we have to assume that our snow plows, some of them still have dump boxes that we have to raise, and when raised, they're in the 25 foot area. But we also have to take into account that we're raising, when we're done, the surface of the new road will be higher than what it is correct right now. So that's why we take that into account. But we try really hard not to make them look like they're butchered. And those guys, we have some pretty good craftsmen in doing that with our current crews.
Great, thanks, Mike. So I think we've gotten through all the questions in chat, and I don't have any more raised hands. I think we'll probably do a final call here. If you're viewing us from your meeting, if you're viewing the meeting on your computer, you want to first make sure to click join audio, and then you can raise your hand by clicking the participants or reactions button at the bottom of your screen, and then the raise hand button at the bottom right of your screen. If you dial into the meeting from your touch-tone phone, you can raise your hand by dialing *9. So I don't think, I did put a link into the project where you can get to that current projects map and see the project pages in the chat. Oh, we do have a raised hand here from Irene. Irene, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Hi.
Go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning. I have a question on Arcona. Is that ever going to be paved, or are we going to have a bumpy road forever?
Irene, at this point, there are no plans to pave Arcona. That section of Arcona is a local road. We certainly would entertain any interest in doing that, and most likely be working closely with the township to see how we might fund it. For that to happen, it would have to be funded at the local level. It wouldn't that wouldn't occur with federal funds or money from the state. It would have to be a locally funded initiative. We do recognize the conditions are very degraded right now as the frost is coming out of the roadbed with the rain saturating the road. It's very rough, and we're going to continue working as things dry out, thaw out, dry out, and stabilize to get Arcona back in reasonable condition. As you can imagine, we've got many hundred miles of similar conditions throughout the county, and it's difficult right now for our motorists to navigate those rough conditions.
Yes. Well, I appreciate you guys doing Platt. I don't know how many tires I've lost in holes, but I am so thankful that it's finally being done. And they redid Platt last year in front of my house. I live at 195 South Platt when they repaved the main run here. And it was done by the state, I believe. I don't believe it was a county being done by the county of Washtenaw County. I think it was a state project due to its truck run. And
that was probably us.
No,
right?
that was, yeah, the overlay that occurred between Judd and Willis Road was our project last year.
okay,
That
well,
was, Irene, that was funded by York Township, as a matter of fact. They were very generous and supportive of that improvement. We were very grateful to partner with the township to make that a possibility.
Well, it's nice that they did that, and I don't know what cement company they used to redo our aprons, but my apron is already cracked.
Oh,
Yeah.
Irene, if you
Are-
could
are
provide
you-
your, oh, go ahead, Mike.
Irene, you're south of Moorville or Main Street, correct?
Yes, I'm
Yeah,
down
so-
by the closer to the school, but I'm the last
Yeah.
house on the left on Platt
Okay.
that faces the
Right.
empty lots.
So that actually is in the jurisdiction of the city of Milan.
that's correct.
Okay.
So that's not part of our,
Yep.
that's not part of our roadway.
Yeah, I done called them and talked to them about it, and I also complained about the grass job that they did when they tore up the front city part of the lot.
Yep.
They really just threw back concrete and blacktop in my yard. And I've complained about it, so I have to keep on trucking with it.
We're sorry to hear that, Irene. And Mike is correct, and we appreciate the location clarification. That would actually be in the city of Milan. That would not have been a road commission project.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, thank you guys so much for
Yep.
getting to Platt Road from Maine to Willow. We are looking forward to driving smoothly.
We are
Thank you so
too.
much.
We are too. Thanks, Irene. Yep. All right. Let's see. Rod sends his excitement as well. We are very excited too, Rod. We're glad this was a helpful presentation. Last call for any other questions while we're waiting for last call. Mike, Aaron, Jim, anything else you guys want to add?
I did want to add one thing for the benefit of the participants. Recently, it was our understanding that the Michigan Department of Transportation was going to be undertaking some major improvements as part of US 23, specifically the bridges over 23, doing some major repairs. And it was our initial understanding that that work was scheduled for this year. Really created quite a bit of concern about how we coordinate our county road projects with the Department of Transportation's highway projects. As fate would have it, they have had to delay that construction to 2023 and 2024. And we're certainly benefiting from that change in schedule. It's reduced the complication of detours and all of the work that needs to happen. With that said, we're glad to get Moon and Platt Road done early in the construction season, substantially complete prior to the Memorial Day weekend. Hopefully the weather cooperates with us and allows for that. So there will be more work in the general area over the next 3 years, but this section of Platt Road and Moon Road will be in much better shape going forward. Thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep.
Mike, any final words? Doesn't look like we have any more questions. So any final words?
Nope, I'm all set.
Okay, great. And we
Looking
just,
forward to the work.
thanks, Mike. We are too. So we've got Mike's contact information here on the screen. We really would encourage you to visit our project pages on the website, and you can subscribe to receive updates for Moon or Platt or both via email. And we will put out email advisories, and we will also put out those big changeable message boards ahead of the closures. So once we get the exact date, we're hoping the dates Mike gave today are going to be able to work out, but all of that is weather pending. But we will provide advisories ahead of that work and then updates throughout the project if you subscribe to receive those on the website. So thank you everybody for coming today, and we hope you have a great rest of your day.